me, son, enough of lies. Sleeping naked in the night. Got to take it off my mind.
What's up, Beast 180? What's up, Fire Air Water?
Oh no, to make you mine. I believe in human rights. Got to take it off my mind. Off my mind.
Yes, girl. Give me
Now
some
you
hearts.
got me here to win.
Yeah.
I see through the innocence.
Give me those hearts.
The way is getting hard.
And I'll shuffle.
Put a soul away from losing grip.
What's up,
Music
James?
keeps me spirited, but nothing can compare the way.
That was it. Really not awesome.
You know, you got me with the love and the feeling. I know nobody cares only
What are we jamming out on
what you
tonight, love?
say. You know, you got me with the love
What else we got on
and
here?
feeling. I know.
You happy you made it, Gia? Awesome. I'm happy you made it too, baby.
What you
What's
say.
up, Christy? Oh, you guys. The cards left in the deck. I mean, in the box. I'll pull it last. I'll put it over here. I'll put it over here.
Oh no, to see you from
Allie?
driving circles in my
Up the wild
mind.
cosmic.
Got to keep it all
Love that you all say hello to each other. What's up, girl? Yes. Oh, yeah, girl. You just joined the Facebook group, too. I see that handle.
Got to keep it
I do my best to see all you guys' handles. My screen's green. Guys, is my screen green? Who else is seeing green? Give me some hearts if you can see me. Give me some. Can you see me clearly? Who knows? Who knows with Instagram? Can you guys even see me at all?
You know, you got me with the love and feeling.
Hi, Anna.
Nobody cares
For
you
heart. Okay, so you guys can see me. Cool. Am I green?
Am
I purple? Am I orange? Is there Oompa Loompa? Not for you? Okay, cool. What are we jamming on tonight, loves? What are questions? I will pull cards individually. What's up, Juliana? I will pull cards individually and for the collective. You guys, I got tested for antibodies today. I did. All right, Chet Baker. Thank you. I love this song. I love that song. Yeah, so quick little update. What's up, Natasha? Let's do a relationship dive. All right, girl. What are we diving into? This week's been emotional and tough. Valerie. Do we need to get on another call, love? Is that what's going on? Jessica, so much into emotion is deep. Oh, all right. We're in the emotional waves today, loves. Yes. What do we need to love ourselves more right now? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good collective question. I like that as a collective question. Okay, we'll hold that one for a collective. Everybody emotional? Is everybody seriously, are we diving deep this week? Is that what's going down? Is everybody swimming in the deep end today? We don't do shallow and soul circle anyway, okay? Go deep, go home. Go deep or go home. Okay, and we're still in full moon energy, right? So we're still in the releasing phase. So that's the little bit of the astrology that we will do. Why does my phone do that? Now I can't see you guys. Rolling in the deep. Exactly. That. Is that a song? Is that a song? We need a rolling in the deep song. Okay? That's what we need. What's up, Jenna? I haven't seen you in so long, babe. What's up, Raquel? Yeah, so quick little thing while I'm shuffling, and you guys put in your question. What are the deep questions? What are the like emotional questions? Do we need to go through like how to process the emotions? Do we need to go through some like emotional mastery techniques today? What do we need? What do we need? Let me scroll back up. But yeah, just as a quick thing, I posted my stories. I have a little poke spot. Homegirl like loved my veins. She was like, wow, you have such nice veins. I'm like, thanks, girl. Weird compliment. Anyways, so I went to my friend's lab and I got tested for antibodies. I feel fine. I feel 100% fine. I feel more than fine. Just want to kind of check because I'm curious. And, you know, find out what all the fuss is about. There's some serious fuss in the world, you know? And just checking and just being, you know, just being good and checking. And I really wanted to wait until I found somewhere that I trusted. And so my dear friend happened to let me take part in that today. So I don't know, next 24, 48 hours, I should find out. But they also said too that like there's this whole thing, I could have antibodies or not have antibodies, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can still either get it or not get it. Still so much unknown. And I just want to check anyways. So I went and I did that today. Good girl, today. All right. Yes, hearts on that. Okay. Has anybody here checked? Has anybody here like gone and checked for antibodies? Okay. This is a no fear zone. Let's just start with that. This is a no fear zone. So it is not to produce any fear. It's just like checking in with your body. Okay. Let me see. Hang on. I scrolled up too far. So much emotion. Okay. So much emotion. Yes. What do we need to love ourselves more? Okay. I'm going to do 3 for, let's do that super quick. These are 3 for what do we need to do to love ourselves more? Okay. Interesting. Where's my, you know what I want for the love ourselves more? Okay. This is what I want for the love ourselves more. Too many things. When we need questions on loving yourself more, I feel like we need the Sacred Rebels deck. Okay. So I'll do a couple shuffles on this one. Hang on. What do we need to love ourselves more? You guys feeling that? What do we need to love ourselves more? What do we need to know? What do we need to know to work through all the emotions and love ourselves more? So I picked 3. The thing about these is because they kind of give some interesting things. And what's up, YouTube? Okay. Hang on. Let me, okay. So those are 3 for what do we need to love ourselves more? Okay. I will definitely read those in a second. Yes, hearts. There they are. What's up, loves? It's amazing when you trust the universe's plan and everything makes perfect sense. Isn't it though? Isn't it? It's only in our heads that we get into fear and like mess up the flow. Like universe just wants to, I am a believer that the universe is feminine. Okay. Creator, feminine. Duh. I believe it's an integration between the masculine and feminine. Let's say that. Okay. The seed of thought and the growth and the birth of the feminine, right? So when we're in flow and the universe is in flow and we're in flow of that, in that like balance and combination, we're in October. This is my birthday month. This is balance fucking month. So balancing all the masculine and the feminine, and what does that look like? So if you're not in flow with the universe, or if you are in flow but you don't have enough structure, then you don't have enough masculine. If you're and that's being too much in the feminine, not enough masculine. If you're too trying to control and getting too much in your head and you're not staying in flow enough, then right, you're too much in the masculine, not enough in the feminine. Yes, hearts on that. Yeah, serious hearts on that. If we're in a lot of emotion, that's more feminine. And so honoring that and then saying, okay, what you guys, I haven't said this in a while. What are you making it mean? What are you making it mean? That's the mental of the masculine. So if we can balance our emotions with what are we making it mean? Read the cards too. Hang on. Time is flying and all of a sudden I'm a totally different person than I was a month ago. Good. Awesome. Transition, transformation. Let's go. Like about time. About time. What's up? Rainy's in the house. What's up? What's up, Ash? Mother Earth and Father Sky. I know, and balance, yes. And then some people say Father Earth and Mother Sky. What culture says that? I think it's not the Native. I think that one's Native American. The other one, I can't remember right now. But sometimes we flip it. Like, why can't it be both? Why is it that we have like God and Goddess? Where is the center point that includes all of the above together? The integration, right? That's a big thing that's happening right now. Like integration is the buzzword. It has been probably for the last like 6 months. Integration between your masculine and feminine, integration between any like upset that gets caused with all of this stress, and then that causes any fragmentation that needs to come back together again. Sometimes we have these versions of ourselves that go out. We need to like call those back and reintegrate. Sometimes it's your inner child that hasn't been fully integrated, and then we blame and shame and, you know, call it the ego and all of that stuff, which it is. But everything needs to come back to an integration at the center of the heart in order for us to be fully whole and complete. There are strategies to do so that make sense in the psyche as well as energetically. But other than that, when we feel off, it can be, if we're out of balance in some way, it can be that there's some sort of fragmentation, some sort of split, some sort of contradiction, because maybe we feel a certain way, but we're getting in our heads about some sort of fear, right? Fragmentation. We're not in flow. We're not in harmony within ourselves to then be in harmony with the universe. So all of this also pertains to what do we need to do to love ourselves more? We need to integrate. When you can fully integrate like all the versions of all of the times that you had an emotional upset, and you can come back and integrate all of them, doing hypnosis is a really, really great technique for that. Okay. Like I love the power of doing hypnosis with my clients and bringing that sort of like full integration from multiple different emotional experiences that cause that upset or wound or then fragmentation, and you bring them all together again. And that's when you ultimately like come back to a whole state. And there's a lot of fear happening right now that can fragment. There's a lot of stress happening now that can fragment. There's a lot of different things that are happening in the world. So as we're going through this process, reintegration needs to take place. And definitely whenever we come to some form of ending, right, or next phase of where we're currently at, the integration needs to take place. Okay. And I'll just say again, the more or the less things that we can do to cause dysregulation within ourselves, stress, emotional upset, the less fragmentations we will have. Honor the emotions that do come up, but don't continue sitting in them, if you guys know what I mean, right? Because we can do that because we're human. We can get addicted, just like we get addicted to adrenaline and we get addicted to sort of stress responses. We can get addicted to negative emotions, to lower emotions, to sad emotions. You can actually get addicted to it. It's called the pain body. And it acts kind of like a drug. So we need to remember that while we're honoring the emotion, we're not getting addicted to the emotion, because that can create more fragmentation. Does that make sense? Yes, hearts. Okay, let me check in with you guys. And yes, the cards. What do we need to love ourselves? What do we need to love ourselves? Hang on. A lot of every side masculine energy one day and feminine the other. Okay, at least you're swinging back and forth. That's good. Awesome. Oh, you haven't been able to listen to this because your work schedule, so you're so happy. Yay! I'm so happy you're on too, Olivia. Awesome. You feel like, okay, Val, you feel like you're getting presented with past emotions, traumas, and fears coming up for me in order to be integrated. Okay, great. You know the integration technique. I feel overwhelmed by it all. It's so much at once. Okay, before I do the card, here's what I want to say real quick about past emotions. Okay. And this goes with a little bit of like how we love ourselves a little bit more, right? Because whenever emotions come up, okay, and first, not being afraid of emotion, we need to just really like let that go. It's a natural part. I feel like, do you guys relate to that? Like, does sometimes like the fearing of emotions is because it's like this elusive thing, and so we don't know how to like work through them, you know? But then why don't we fear our thoughts? It's like, that was a thought that literally just came to me right now. Why is it that on an average, let's generalize, on an average, most people fear emotions and yet they're elusive? Like, why do we fear emotions and we don't fear negative thoughts? We'll say some nasty shit to ourselves that then induces a negative emotion, and yet we fear the emotion rather than fearing the negative thought that actually induced the emotion. Negative emotions can induce a negative thought as well, right? But why is that? I'm just curious. Just a random question that just thought I'd throw that out there. Think about what that might be for you. And what I want to say about past emotions coming back up, right? It's really the version of you. Feel into if this resonates, okay? When sort of getting presented with past emotions. I love that you say it that way, because getting presented, like, are we ever really living fully in the present? I don't think we are. Follow me for a second. Okay. We have this desire of where we want to go in the future. We have this desire of who we want to maybe become, or the things that we would like to do, right? And that would require a different version of us, right? Or an evolutionary version of us. And yet, while we're in the present moment, are we really technically ever presented with, are we ever really experiencing present moment emotions, or are they always just emotions from the past that have been unresolved or unintegrated or not processed or not loved or not evolved or transitioned, right? So are we really ever fully present, or are we just bringing more things from the past? So if you're getting presented with past emotions, then that literally takes you out of, you're definitely not able to move into the future, but you're not able to like experience just the beingness of pure harmony and joy right now. So first question, and this is for everybody to ask themselves, what would you need in that very moment that you're experiencing that negative emotion? What would you need? Just ask yourself, what do I need? Like step one, you've already brought awareness to the emotion. So technically, I guess that would be step two. So asking yourself, okay, what do I need in this moment? Whatever emotion is coming up, it's like it's communicating something. I am a believer that emotions are like a consciousness, just like thoughts there, right? So everything has its own consciousness. It's a flow. It can come, it can go, it can disappear, it can change form. It's an energy, but it's a consciousness. So what is it there to communicate? If we want to be in conscious relationship with everything around us, then be in conscious relationship and communication with your own emotion. Where do you feel it in the body? Ask it what it wants. It's there for a reason. It's there probably from something of the past. Okay, now we're going. So yes, you can have fears of the future, but check this for a second. Okay, I'm going to go quantum like super quick. If you're ever having fears of the future, you know, anxiety, is it really fear of something that's happening in the future event? Or is it a fear of an experience that you had in the past that you are afraid would happen again in the future? Therefore, technically, it hasn't really happened yet, but you're not really experiencing fear of something happening in the future. You're just bringing your past with you. Does that make sense? I just went a little quantum for a second. I took a nap today, so my brain's on hyperdrive. Back to emotions. When you experience emotion, it is an energy in motion. That's all it is. What we make it mean is what gives us the negative or the positive response to it, and the lack of being in communication with it, being in a relationship with it. So if we can treat it like a person, how do we treat the relationships in our lives? That might be a very good indicator on how you treat people in your lives, how you treat your emotions. Or how you treat yourself, how you treat your emotions. So if you were to act as if your emotions were like a child and being in communication, would you ignore them? Or would you want to know what they need? And if you wanted to know what they needed, if you got really curious about that in a second, what could you ask that would have the emotion share with you what it's trying to experience? And if it were, when it's able to share with you its experience, what would it say? And what could you do with that information? And sometimes we think a negative emotion, that we're making it mean that it's a negative emotion because maybe it doesn't feel so good, whatever, could actually have a positive message. But then we're sitting here judging that if it doesn't feel good in the body in some way, only based on what we're making it mean, but we haven't been in communication with it. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and they say something that kind of comes out wrong and that wasn't their intention? And then now there's like a conflict and everybody gets upset, but it wasn't the intention. So what if your emotions were a consciousness and they're trying to communicate in that same way and they don't really know how to communicate with an intention that would feel good for you? Because maybe if it felt good, I don't know, would it get your attention? We're usually either focused on avoiding pain or going towards pleasure. Most of us fear and run away from pain more than we want to create scenarios that would have us go towards pleasure. Why? That's a whole other conversation. Is that making sense? Wow. Okay. How do you treat the emotion? Yes. I love that that's a question, but literally, how do you treat the emotion? I'm going to just flip the question back onto you. How do you treat your emotion? How do you treat your emotion? Imagine your emotion being like a child. How do you treat it? How do you treat that emotion? Maris, hi, baby. Yes, but we're not like we were in that moment. Very good. That was good. Okay, good. Projection is the fear of the future events for sure. Yes, but projection is the fear of the future events. But since nothing's technically happened and you don't actually know what would happen in the future, then are you really fearing something happening in the future? Or are you just bringing past emotion with you from some experience that happened that then you're afraid would potentially happen again? Meaning, if it was like a basket, could you drop it in the past? Could you just drop it and then you wouldn't bring it into the future and then you wouldn't have that fear projected into the future? You could just drop it like right now, because ultimately you're just carrying the basket from the past. It's not coming from the future is what I'm trying to say. The fear is not coming from the future. I know it's right. This is just like a play on words. I know we're saying projection is the fear of events in the future, but it's not. It hasn't happened yet. So is it really coming from the future or is it really coming from the past? We're just going to go quantum and I'm just going to like mind fuck everybody tonight. How about that? Back to cards, darling. Back to cards. How do we love ourselves better? The first thing that you need to love yourselves, what was it, better? Love yourselves more. How do you love yourself? Just in general, big, bold vision. This is coming up a lot, okay? This goes for business stuff too, right? So when I think this came up actually in yesterday's business live that we did for conscious business, personal branding. Here's the thing, vision's super important. But vision is almost very mental, which could be masculine. So it doesn't have the feminine essence to it. So it doesn't have the emotional essence to it, right? So how do we love ourselves more, starting with vision? Before you get vision, you have to have something really, really, really important. And it's feminine. What do you think that it is? Let me scroll down. Before you can have vision, what do you think needs to be supported? Just curious. I'll totally say. Holding on to what feels comfortable. What makes sense? That makes sense. Complete sense. Okay, great. Awesome. You use the stop, drop love that I taught you. Awesome, Christy. I love that. I love that you guys still love that. I haven't talked about stop, drop love for a long time. Is there anybody that's here that's new that doesn't know what hashtag stop, drop love is? Creativity. I love that, Val. Yes. So a little bit of creativity, kind of on the same lines with that. You have to be able to have a dream. Before you can have a vision, you have to be able to have a dream. Who here was a little kid that really loved daydreaming? Were you guys little kids that loved daydreaming? Who here like would sit? I was so that kid. I loved daydreaming. I loved it. I would just let my mind like just go into so many different places, just being as creative, yes, as possible, like letting whatever come up. Sometimes I would do a whole astral projection thing before I even knew what that was. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes. Okay, so we have some daydreamers in here. So you're really, really good at loving yourself if you can get in touch with whatever that dream is that then would give you the vision, the big, bold vision on how. Like the vision is the how. It's the doing. It's masculine. So before that, you need the feminine, you need the dream, which is the creativity. You need to be able to like kind of sit in it and be like, oh, what could it feel like? So we're asking, right? What was the question? How to love yourselves more? Well, what would it feel like to love yourself more, to love yourself better? What would that absolutely feel like? If you could close your eyes and get in touch with the feeling, what would it feel like? Not what it would it look like, not yet, not with the vision yet, but what would it literally feel like to love yourself better? What would you need to love yourself? What feeling would you need to love yourself? And it might be easy to be like, well, love. Okay, cool. What does that feel like? How do you know when you're experiencing a sense of love in your body? I'm using one example, freedom. Okay, awesome. What does that feel? How do you know when you're in that feeling? How do you know? Can you close your eyes and go there now? Can you close your eyes and stop, drop love into the embodiment of freedom? Warm inside. Okay, awesome. I love that. Warm inside. Acceptance. Okay, awesome. These are great. And it's a feeling though, right? It's not a concept. It's not a blueprint. It's not an idea. Fulfillment, feeling giddy. Oh, I like that. Acceptance for who you are in this precious moment. Okay, awesome. Calm and secure. Okay, great. Awesome. So can you go there now? Like literally just, can you go there? Can you embody that? Can you just close your eyes and imagine, be that daydreamer and just be like, what would that feel like? And just like go there. And if you've never experienced it before in your life, I know that if you have any creativity, any creative bone in your body, I know that you can close your eyes and imagine the feeling that you would want it to be. Couldn't you? Security. Awesome. What is security? So these are great words. Do you know, and just put a couple of yeses, do you know what it feels like? Security is a word. Do you know what it feels like? Calm is a feeling. Yes. Secure is a word. Do you know what it feels like? Give me a couple hearts if like, yes, you know what it feels like, not the concept of it. Yep. Rami, of course you do. Okay, awesome. Right? So all these things are concepts. So before the vision, because now you could close your eyes and be like, cool, how do I want to experience that? But before that, you got to get in touch with like being that daydreamer and being like, okay, what would it feel like? Just like, what would it feel like to love myself more? Power and sovereign, in power and sovereign. Yes. Okay, cool. So it's like, how do we love ourselves more? What do we need to do to love ourselves more? You literally, all you have to do is take a hot second. You don't even have to do a super deep meditation. You don't need a strategy. You could use a bubble bath if it would help you, right? And these are just the sort of like conscious level ways to just shift into an emotion, right? When there's reasons why we get out of it. So we can get there, right? You can close your eyes right now. You don't need a blueprint. You don't need anybody like twisting your arm. You can literally close your eyes and just move into that feeling. Yes or yes? Feeling energetic. Okay, awesome. Can you move there just now? Just like easily just close your eyes or leave your eyes open and just move into that feeling. I don't think you need anything to do that. So how you love yourself more is just move into the feeling, the desired feeling, and then experience that in that moment, right? When we do emotional alignment, we find out all of the reasons why you keep pulling yourself into an undesired emotional state. And we find the emotional state of the highest version of you. And when you have two different choices, now you can say, okay, well, when I'm here, that's not where I want to be. And then an easy technique, practice to move into the desired emotion that you want, right? We also need to get really clear why we move out. Why do we take ourselves out of the emotion? That's the other thing you need to ask yourself. Why do you take yourself out of that emotion? Why do you allow events? Why do you allow events that happen in life to take you out of the emotion? Just ask yourself that. Then create the vision of what you would like. And with that vision, what you want is also wanting you. So what is it that you want? We say this a lot in relationships. What do you want in relationships? I love when people are like, oh, so you do relationships? You're going to help me find my soulmate? No. Because I believe, and I know you guys all definitely, if you're in this circle, the relationship you have with yourself, what do we know? Sets the tone for all other relationships. So how you show up with yourself, first and foremost, sets that tone for everything else. So what you're seeking is also seeking you. If you are in any way seeking undesired emotions more often than you're seeking desired emotions, then what will find you? Because it's never about the other person. Never, ever. Even if they're an asshole, it's never about them. And the more that we can embrace that, the easier relationships will be. Truly and honestly. because it's not about the relationship. It's not about, that's a cocoon of where two people come in and they either are practicing how they're showing up in their self-mastery and the effect at which they're doing it, or the success at which they're doing it while practicing with another person, or the lack of success at which they're practicing their self-mastery skills with another person. But it's not about the other person. It's how well you're practicing self-mastery skills with another person in this cocoon that we call relationship, because technically we have a relationship. So we have a cocoon with everything. You have that cocoon relationship with yourself. You have that cocoon relationship with spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. You have that cocoon relationship with money. You have that cocoon relationship with friends. You have that cocoon relationship with nature. You have that cocoon relationship with your body. That's a whole other thing, right? So you have a cocoon relationship with your emotions. So how do you want to show up with your emotions? Because it's about you. It's not about your emotions. That sounds really weird. You guys hear me, right? I know your emotions are inside your body, and technically, yes, they're yours. And if we were to just kind of go a little quantum and separate them as if we could, so that then you could be in a relationship with it, you could be in this cocoon with these things called emotions, then how would you want to show up? At what level would you be using self-mastery skills to effectively be in relationship with emotions, with your body, with romantic partners, with family members, with a tree, like nature? Yes. It's never about the other person. The level of success for any relationship, real 18-ship, definitely doesn't have anything to do with time either. It has to do with how well did you practice self-mastery skills with a buddy? How well did you show up within yourself and utilizing some self-mastery skills? And how well did you practice that with just happened to be another person in the room? And then what was the outcome of that? That's really all it is. Mm-hmm. And if something goes wrong, if emotions get heightened, then just go and clean it up. Like, it's not even a big deal. Like, if somebody gets triggered, just go and clean it up. It doesn't have to be a thing. Just be like, and you can even like joke about it. Be like, oh my God, like I was totally in that space. Oh my God, I'm feeling better now. You know what I mean? Or, oh my God, I totally had this emotion. I totally made it mean this. And that probably sounds really super silly or whatever, but just go and clean it up. Okay. So what you want is also wanting you consider that with your emotions. What emotions you want are also wanting you. So you will bring in experiences, you will bring in emotions. That's kind of said a little bit weird. That will match what you're wanting to create. So daydreamer, big, bold vision, what is it that you want to create? And that's what you'll get more of. So what kind of relationship would you like to create for you with yourself? How would you like to love yourself? How would you like to be in relationship with yourself? And however you envision that, where you're daydreaming and creating and then envisioning it, then that's what you ultimately will bring into your experience. We all already know this, right? So the final one. This is awesome. And this is so like Libra energy. Like, look at her balance. The fuck under a moon. Okay. Apples and oranges. And it says literally, how do you feel? That just, I feel like fully encompasses exactly what we're talking about of like, okay, how do you love yourself more? What do you need in order to love yourself? How do you feel? Check in. Just like, who here really likes it when a man or a woman like checks in? Like send you like a cute little text note, like, how you doing, babe? Who loves those ones? How you doing, beautiful? Good morning, beautiful. How are you? Who loves those? Ladies, do we send those? I feel like we do. I like to send the ones like, I really acknowledge you, babe. Thanks so much. Like words of affirmation or something like that, right? Words of encouragement, something like that, little check-ins. How do you feel when that happens? Of course. I know we all do. Totally. Right? Yeah, me, totally. And yet we expect those, or we really, really like it when that happens, right? And we really like it when it happens from other people. When was the last time you checked in with you? When was the last time you sat with yourself and said, how you feel, babe? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, how you feel, beautiful? How you doing, girl? Or handsome? How are you, boo? When was the last time you asked yourself that? How do you feel? So yes, this is definitely like a Libra, like weighing out. Do you feel a little bit like this? Do you feel a little bit like this? But like you got to do a check-in. Do I feel this? Do I feel this? Bingo. Never have. Then we can't very well, one, we can't very well ask anybody else to if we're not even willing to do it for ourselves. How could we ask somebody else to do that if we're not even willing to do it for ourselves? And yet you really like it when somebody else does it, but we pay so much attention to the external reality. It's not about them. It's about you. How are you showing up for you? And if you really want somebody else to do that for you, then are you worth it to do it for you? It's been too long. Okay, Pinky, we've got one this morning. Awesome. Nicely done. One this morning. Enjoy. How you doing? How you doing? Joey's voice from Friends. Oh my God. Okay, who wants to wake up in the morning tomorrow and look in the mirror and be like, how you doing? I dare you. I dare you. Or after this live, don't even wait till tomorrow. After this live, you know what? Hold your phone, go over to the mirror and look in the mirror right now and be like, how you doing? And do it just like Joey. Do it. Go do it. Please go do it. Who's going to go do it? Just literally, I know you've got a mirror. I know all of you have a mirror probably right next to you. Some of you might even be in the bathroom. I don't even know. Please go do it. How you doing? How you feel? Do a little check-in. Did you do it? Tell me who did it. Who did it? Val, I know you did it, girl. I know you did it. Love it. Really need some guidance last night about this, and here we are. Awesome. Love how the universe works. That's called being in flow. It's called being in flow. Things have been very interestingly synchronistic for me. Words. Did I talk about this before? Words are matching. Random, weird word matches. It could be like sweater. Like I could put on a sweater and like the radio is playing at the same time and something says like, you know, new sweaters on sale or something like that. Like a really like bizarre, weird things like that are like synchronistic to two like words happening at the same time. And that just sort of tells me like we're coming into this, talk about integration, like this like alignment integration in the center between all these multiple different reality possibilities. So yes, The universe will always tell you when you're in synchronicity and alignment. You're going to text yourself before you go to bed and wake up to a new text. Okay, awesome. Okay, I love that. Over here, Rami, you did it? Okay, awesome. Yep, you did it. How you doing? Yep. Your voice doesn't sound like that. Okay, deja vu, awesome. Getting a lot of numbers, are you? From what? Gentlemen? Is that what you're saying? Sometimes we need reminders. Sometimes, especially when things go crazy in the world, we need reminders, right? So the other three that I happened to pull while we were doing this. Oh, you're getting a lot of numbers. She's all, no, bitch. 111. Number synchronicities, not from men. Joy's ready doesn't always work. You made yourself giggle. Okay, awesome. We've got some 1111s. We got some 555s. Awesome. I haven't been seeing the numbers. That's the weird thing. You guys know, well, those of you who followed me for a while, you know my jam is like 333. I haven't been getting the numbers. I've just been getting these really weird word alignments. Literally, like I think the one the other day, if I can remember, they're so weird and random that I forget them because it's not really anything like significant in the moment. Like literally, it's like sweater. Like I'm putting on a sweater and I hear the word sweater. It's super bizarre. Mirror check. Felt strange. Really need to check with yourself often. Okay, good. And that was Erica who had never done that before. Okay, then that might need to be a regular thing for you. I got a rule. You guys know if you've been watching or listening to me for a while, definitely if you've worked with me as a client, you know my rule. If it doesn't go on the calendar, it doesn't get done. I am a nerd for Google Calendar. I organize that shit. Okay. I have a Google Calendar that is color-coded specifically for emotional alignment mantras. They go off at different times of the day. I'm not kidding. Yes, word alignment all day. So weird. I know. I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just noticing. And I'm like, okay, I must be in the flow. Val, you got 6 alerts now. Okay, good. Awesome. I love that. I remember when we started, you were like, you want me to put it on the calendar? Yes, I do. Yes. And make that shit an alarm. Make it go off at the same time every day. Why? Because that creates new neural pathways. Goes off on your alarm. Even like ideally, you take a second, you look at it and you check in with yourself. Okay. Check if you're bypassing, if you're like, oh, there's that alarm again, and then swiping it off. And even if you do that, your subconscious still registers it. So take a half a second when that alarm goes off. It's like, oh, okay, emotional alignment, or put it in as like a full sentence mantra or something like that and be like, okay, check in, or just put in like, how you doing, Joey? Put in something that's going to make you like remember or whatever, and then move into that. Choose it in that moment. That's the only rule. No matter what's happening in your life, you can't let any of that be an excuse. No matter what is happening, alien apocalypse could be like crashing down. And if your emotional alignment alarm goes off on your Google Calendar, you take a hot second and you're like, aliens, pause your lasers. I need to do an emotional check-in. I would. That would be me over in the corner watching the laser stream in the sky. Alarm goes up. Okay, emotional check-in. Give me a hot second. So that is the only rule. You don't get to use the excuses of outside reality. Why? Because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something that's going to be like, oh, I can't because of this. Oh, I can't now because of this. Or somebody's doing this, or somebody's doing that. Da, da, da. There will always be a distraction to pull your attention out, because that's what you've already created in your subconscious so far. So what you seek has been, and will continue to seek you until you create a new neural pathway with that emotional alignment. So if you were the one who was actually calling in those distractions because that was an old pattern that you were used to, then now you actually have to consciously set a boundary. Talk about healthy boundaries in relationships. This is your healthy boundary with you and your internal healthy relationship boundaries, right? Or excuse me, your healthy boundaries within the relationship with you. So you have to literally be like, oh, wow, that's so interesting. I'm noticing chaos happening outside of me. I might have called that in subconsciously to distract myself and pull myself out of the healthy emotional alignment that I know my highest version of myself is truly operating at. So no, I'm not going to let that happen now. I'm going to be the conscious creator of my reality. I'm going to say no matter what is happening, even if it is an extra alien invasion, and that little alarm is going to go off on your phone, and you're going to take a hot second for yourself. Because the how we love ourselves more is to consciously create new neural pathways that set up a practice for healthy patterns, not the unhealthy patterns that we have unfortunately learned before we knew the tools to create healthy patterns and consciously be the creator of our reality. Does that make sense? Does that resonate? So put it in your calendar and take a hot second for yourself, because that's self-love that goes far above any other bubble bath that you will ever take, to literally create a new neural pathway for yourself. Creating those healthy neural pathways in the brain. Yes, we got hearts on that. Okay, cool. There will always be something. That's how we've unfortunately set up our reality, to distract us. There will always be something to pull you into fear. There will always be some reason why you're like, I can't because of this, or I can't because of that. And honestly, when that stuff happens, here's the really cool thing. If you can reframe this super quick. When chaos happens outside of you, especially in the moment when you're trying to create new healthy boundaries for yourself, when you're trying to build something new, and then all of a sudden chaos happens, be so grateful for it. Why? Because it means your shit's working. It means you've set into motion to create a new healthy boundary. So naturally, the opposition will come up to try to keep the negative in alignment when you're trying to keep and create a new healthy alignment. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you set an intention to create something new, and now the old version is like, oh my God, no. We have to maintain this. We have to maintain this. We have to maintain this. So if chaos is happening when you've already set that intention, when you're practicing, when you're putting those techniques into practice to creating those new conscious, healthy alignment and new healthy patterns for yourself, and chaos happens, be so grateful. Because it means that you properly set a new intention, so much so that the unconscious version of you that wants to try to stay the same has to kick it up a notch to keep the attention over here, to try to distract you from creating this new healthy, right? The unhealthy has to try to distract you. It's kind of like the toxic relationship that's like, no, I need your attention because I need to vampire suck off of your energy, when you're over here trying to like create a new healthy relationship with yourself. Totally resonates. Okay, cool. Mind blown. Love it. I love that emoji. So be so grateful, because it means something's changing. And that's a beautiful thing, because it means you're evolving. It means you have an opportunity to evolve. It means there's energy moving in another direction that's opposite how things have been. And if how things have been is a way that you don't want to be anymore, then be super grateful when chaos starts happening. I remember when I first started, nope, we're not even, nope, because that's going to, okay, never mind. I was going to tell a story, but I don't even want to project my experience onto that because I don't want you to create that for yourself. Okay. So I'm just going to like delete that. Basically, just get into gratitude when things look like they're chaotic, because it means that you're creating a new healthy boundary. It means that you've set an intention to do something new. And if you can, in that moment, be like, oof, do I want that one? I'm going to get the same results. Or do I want to choose this new one that's totally going to go against what I'm used to? And it's going to be like a little bit of a struggle to like keep focused on this because I'm not used to it. But if I could just stay focused on this more often than letting the distraction pull my attention to how I've used to done things, then the success of creating new healthy patterns, the success of creating a consciously creating the reality that you do want. Now you just put yourself in the power position because you chose and you weren't reactionary to chaos or drama or something happening that then you reacted to, which means you are not in power. Instead, in that moment, you stopped, dropped, and loved into what you do truly want. And that's fucking power. Because that means basically nothing can fuck with you. Alien invasion could come down and you won't be phased. Not disassociated from your emotions. That's not what that means. But you just won't be phased. You'll be able to consciously choose what you do want rather than being reactionary to old patterns, old programs, old things that got created when you didn't know any better, right? So it's not even your fault. But we have to create something new in order to override something old. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Ksenia, baby. Yeah, no reaction to the negative emotion. Honor the negative emotion. Ask it what it wants. 100% ask it what it wants. But don't react to it. It's kind of like when a baby's crying. I'm an auntie, I'm not a mama, okay? But like we've all can, yes, whether you're a mama, an auntie, or even just been around a baby, okay? When a baby is crying, what do you do? What do you do? Do you freak the fuck out and react? Be like, oh my God, there's a baby crying. What do I do? Sorry. What do you do when a baby's crying? Maybe the first time you freak the fuck out, okay? Maybe the first time, give yourself that. Give yourself that. But what do you do? Do you react in fear and chaos and oh my God and da da da? Or do you just like, okay, what does it need? What does he, not it. What does he or she need? Find out why the baby is crying. Exactly. What do they need? What do they need? Do they need food? Do they need to poop? Are they constipated? Like, what do they need? Do they need to burp? Is there like something that is causing some just congestion and it needs to move? How often do you feel a little congested and your energy needs to move? How often does emotion in your body get stuck and trapped into certain places in your body and it needs to move? You need to burp your own emotion. So if you're having an emotional experience, just like stop and burp yourself, okay? That's pretty much just conclusion of the night. Stop and burp yourself. That's really, you know. Okay, good. Burp yourself. Burp yourself. Okay? That's going to be, can you all please, on your Google calendars, put an alarm for 9 a.m. every morning, hashtag burp yourself. There you go. Isn't that true? Don't you plan when you feed the baby, and then there's the burping of the baby. So just plan your self burping. Oh my God. Don't ask me where I come up with this shit. Okay. I don't know. But it makes sense, does it not? Energy needs to move, just like a baby needs to burp. Just burp yourself. So if it's stuck, burp yourself. Yeah, that too, Gia. Energy's got to move. Otherwise, it stays stagnant, and then it gets stuck in the body, and then all kinds of things. Just is nobody's having fun at that point. Okay? So ask it what it needs, just like a baby. Do you fear a baby? Maybe sometimes. Maybe you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But after you get over all of that, okay, you don't really fear a baby. But yeah, you got to stop. You got to ask it what it needs, and then you got to burp it, right? Or do whatever it needs. So with your emotion's like a baby. And it either needs to be moved, you need to burp yourself, you need to feed yourself, you need something. You need a check-in. There's a reason why emotions come up. It gives us a second. I need to burp myself. Seriously. Oh my God. Okay, seriously. You guys get it. So don't fear the baby. Burp yourself. Naps and snacks. Yes. Naps and snacks. Boom. 100%. Heard. Exactly. Good. Naps and snacks and burp yourself. I took a nap earlier today, right? I love Tuesday now. I wasn't really going to take a nap, but I ran around. I had client sessions all morning. Then I went and I get my blood drawn. And then I had a beautiful lunch down in near the beach. And I had just the best day. And then I came home and I took a nap on my new favorite pillow. So this card that kind of was stuck in the box, the very first one was resolution. Resolution. Totally burping yourself. Good. Emotion comes up. And isn't it funny? It's right in the chest, right where your heart is. Just I want to see somebody please tag me. Post, I dare you. Put on your calendar, burp yourself. Emotional alignment in your calendar. Take a snapshot, put it in your stories, and tag me. I want to see it. Resolution. I feel like that doesn't really need explanation, but resolution. Coming to the resolution of ourselves. There's also 3 more cards here. There's a lot of intense energy. It's Libra season. It's all about love. It's all about relationships. It's my birthday month. I've got 5 fucking planets in Libra. And we also have to remember that collectively things are still moving through. So the resolution we will reach when you find that within yourself first. You can be in that alignment right now as you just practice. So burp yourself, find your resolution, no matter what's happening in the world. Ash, it's your birthday month too. What up, Libra boo? Do we have any other Libras in here? Or Libra risings? We could do that. Or Libra moons. Love it. Okay. the 3 cards to complete this evening. It's your birthday today, Rob something. What's up, M? Molly, Libra rising. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. No, it's not my birthday. It's my birthday month. I'm a Libra. You know astrology. I'm a Libra. I like 4 planets in Libra. So we're just talking a lot about Libra because it's all about balance right now. And it's all about love and relationships. And that's your relationship and your love with yourself. First and foremost, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single, no matter whether like any relationships, all relationships, because it all starts with you. So yeah, where does anybody, Mars in Libra? Okay, awesome. Awesome. You probably know what that means. All right, the 3 remaining cards. I don't know what that means. You're a real Libra as opposed to a fake one? When's your birthday? It's October 23rd, babe. I'm 29 degrees Libra. So I am like the last degree of Libra on like the cusp day. I'm like a total like cusper, but then there's like a bunch of other stuff. Like there's like 4 other ones in Libra. I don't know. I see my chart and just everybody's all clustered down at the bottom. So I'm like, okay, great. Which is probably why I love doing like inner subconscious work with people, because everything's down at the bottom. And it's all love and relationships. It starts with you. And your business. You can have a relationship with your business. You can have like it's all. Oh, like balance is important. Okay, yes. And I feel like there's very like stereotypical things about Libra. You know what I mean? Like I had one person be like, Libras are so indecisive. Maybe like until you know that about yourself. So if it's this goes for anything and everything, right? When you understand, like, so within self-mastery, like you can learn something about yourself, whether it's a chart, an Enneagram, whatever, but then it doesn't have to rule you. You'd be like, okay, interesting. Like I know, I know when my like serious 5 Libra sides are like weighing out all of the options for longer than necessary, but I know that about myself. So I literally have like a timer. I allow myself to be a Libra for a minute and weigh out the options because that's my strength either way. And then I'm like, okay, now make a decision. So whenever you know anything about yourself, if it's a perceived weakness, I could sit there and I could analyze and overanalyze everything till the cows come home. Or I could be like, okay, give myself that time and then now make a decision. Maybe I take a little longer than other people because I like to weigh out, because I got 5 scales. There's literally like 5 scales in my chart. So I have to weigh this one first, then I have to weigh this one, then I have to weigh that one. So just give me an extra 5 minutes so I can weigh my shit out, and then I will make a decision. Okay? Yes, exactly. All right, cool. I feel, yeah, okay. Soulmate. And you guys know how I feel about soulmate. You know how I feel about this word. You are yours. Talk about love and relationships. Okay. Coming from the Libra, which is the understanding of all love and relationships, Venus, all of that. It is you first. If you're not right with you, if your self-mastery skills are not in alignment with you and what you want to create and your inner soulmate before anybody else, then it doesn't really matter, because again, it's not about them. It's about how you want to show up for you in your own world, whether you're single or in a relationship, or whether you come out of a relationship. It's about you. It is never about the other person. So relationship mastery skills is something that I excel at. Maybe it's because of 5 planets in Libra. I don't know. Maybe it's because I really geek out on really knowing and understanding human behavior and why we do the things and how we can love ourselves more, because I didn't always have that. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how to see myself as my own soulmate before I sought some external soulmate relationship. I didn't know how to do that before. So you got to get in touch with your inner soul mating first and foremost before you worry about anybody else. Even if you're currently in a relationship, put them on pause. Season of the heart. We are, because it's Libra season. And rose petals. Okay? Look, and they're both green. I love that. Season of the heart. We're talking about emotions. We're talking about love relationships with you. So put the external person on pause for a hot second and get in touch with what you need for you. Your inner soulmate first. This is your season of the heart. How do you want your heart to feel every single day? Whether you are in a relationship or not, whether you got a man or not, because it's not about them, or a woman. It's not about them either. It's never about them. We make it that way because we have this conditioned response to try to get things from other people because we don't know how to go within and give it to ourselves first. We don't know how to get into alignment with how we want to feel first. And then we have these expectations and these codependency aspects that we get into relationship with, and we expect the other person to show up and give us all of these things, like the text message of, hey babe, how you doing? And yet, how many of you actually gave it to yourself first? And there weren't that many. So the season of the heart is, what are you giving to yourself first? And this, it's like a broken record, but quite literally, we're not all doing it yet. It needs to become a skill like second nature. It needs to be as natural and normal as you just waking up in the morning, making some coffee, and getting into the emotional alignment of what you want your heart to feel. Literally second nature, not a thought about it. Literally, it shouldn't even be a thought. It should just be a feeling. Season of the heart. Libra season. Let's go, bitches. And rose petals. I used to say all the time that there's not one petal to a rose. I haven't said that in a really long time. We know there's thorns. So you have some thorns with how you've been relating to yourself, right? Nobody's perfect. You have some unconscious patterns still playing out, some unconscious negative thoughts that poke you every once in a while, maybe more often than not, that might be holding you back from allowing yourself to bloom. And yet there's also not one petal to a rose. And what I mean by that is you are a beautiful, multidimensional, gorgeous being. You are not just one note. You're a whole fucking symphony of sounds. You have so many different beautiful aspects. Your emotions are it's all the colors of the rainbow. If you were just one color, you'd be boring as fuck. Nobody wants just one color on the rainbow your whole life. Oh my God. It's like that movie Pleasantville, right? When everybody was in black and white, and it's because they didn't have the connection with love and passion. And then when they did, and they started having sex and making out with each other, creating some love and passion, a little chi energy, a little kundalini going on. And then all of a sudden everybody started coming into color. And first, it started with a red rose. That was the first thing that got color on it. So what does a rose mean to you? Does that mean love? Does that mean heart? Does that mean, like, to me, like all the petals of a rose, like those are like the layers of the amazing, beautiful aspect of your consciousness. You're not just one petal. Could you imagine what a rose with just one petal would look like? Kind of boring. You would never be able to bloom, and you probably wouldn't smell very good. So allow yourself to experience all of the petals of your rose. Allow yourself to experience all of the emotions that you're going to go through. Because if you were just meant to be one emotion all the time, you would just be a rose with one petal and you'd be boring as fuck. So give yourself permission to be whatever emotion you want to feel, and then get in touch with it and ask it what it wants and get into the alignment of what you want to feel. And if you're feeling certain ways that are undesirable more often, then get into the alignment of the desired emotion that you do want and move into that more often. But allow yourself to experience all of it. And don't fear the emotions that come up, because that would literally be like you just being one petal. And I don't think you're one petal. Nobody wants to be just one petal. I went on a date with a guy one time. He seemed like just a one petal kind of guy. That didn't last very long. You know what I mean? You're not a one petal. He was a very nice guy, but just a one petal. So how deep of a rose are you? How many petals you got on your rose? I am the rose. That makes me want to go get a tattoo now. What did you do to commemorate your birthday, Sarah? In the middle of COVID. Vegan ink rose tattoo. Where should I get it? God, I really want to now. I might make that happen. Should I make that happen? Should I go get a rose tattoo and put like a quote, not one petal to Oh my God. What would the rose be? You have a rose tattoo. Okay, awesome. Oh my gosh, yes. On my foot? For my birthday, yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, on the back of my neck. Catherine. Yes. Right. Right above burp yourself. Oh my God, Rami, that's awesome. Okay, the battery's dying. We gotta go. Do it. Yes. Help me come up with a quote. I gotta think about that. I have plenty of quotes. I might go get around. Okay. Or tell me, or DM me, tell me where I should put it. One person said foot, one person said back of the neck. You have one on your ankle. Now it has a new meaning. Awesome. Great. I love it. You guys are put the tattoo burp yourself. God. No. We'll put it in the calendar, but I am not tattooing that shit on my body. No, the last one I got was a little ladybug. I have an ice cream, and I have a few others. Oh, inner arm. Like up here or like here? Here would be nice. Or like, oh, here, like right on the ankle. Or ankle, really, Sarah? Like right on the wrist? Like right in here, like on the side? That could be cool. All right, my battery's dying. The small one on my wrist. Like right in here. I'll play with it. We'll see. All right, loves. Stay in your heart. Give yourself a little love. Ask your emotions what they want. Don't be afraid of them. They're just like babies that need to be burped. That's all. Yes, on my wrist would be cute. Okay. Thank you so much for the insight. You're so welcome. I love you guys so much. I am Sarah Delane, the Conscious Lifestylist. I'm here to support you in self-mastery, skills to creating those new healthy patterns in your subconscious mind so that you can be the conscious creator of your reality and your relationships. And turn your purpose into a really amazing, profitable business. This is Soul Circle on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I love you guys so much. If you're not in the Facebook group for business, go to the link in my bio. I love you guys. See you here. This will be in my IGTV. I might share it on my page for a little bit, but it'll for sure be in my IGTV. If you guys ever have any questions, DM me. I'm here for you. Love you too, Boos. All right, babes. Have an amazing night and amazing rest of your week. I will see you next week. Bye. Bye, YouTube.